Welcome back again, Fuzzbutts. Now that the head base is complete, we want to start furring it. What we need to do is make a pattern of half of the face, just to keep that symmetry going. We want a pattern all the way around the face area, including the ears, jawline and hairline, as well as around the eyes and nose. Once all the tape's stuck down, we want to start marking out where the edge of the hair is, where the edge of the jaw is, around the nose, and any of the facial patterns, as well as marking the fur direction and colour. You may also need to mark any cuts or breaks. These would be places where the fur joins. Once you've cut the tape off, you'll be able to tell where you need to put these cuts and joins. What the goal is to lay the tape as flat as possible. Any areas where there's a big curve and you can't lay it flat, that'll be where a cut needs to be. Make sure you mark the fur direction and the sort of general piece that is. For example, muzzle, jaw, forehead, ear. Now you want to start cutting your fur. What you need to do is make sure you keep an eye on the actual fur direction and make sure your arrows are going in the same direction. Use charcoal or chalk, depending if you've got light or dark fur to mark. I would highly recommend not giving much of a seam allowance. Only reason is because with faces, particularly, it will stretch and deform, and if you give it too much of a seam allowance, your eye holes might be like 2 or 3 centimeters too wide. After you've marked the tape side down, the sticky side down, you want to flip it over and mark the other side. What you can do with the facial parts is you can actually reflect the tape, so you don't have to cut between and sew it back up. Then you won't have a seam through the middle of the face. When you're cutting fur, I would highly recommend the current scissors that I'm using. They are called Fiskars Easy Action Shears. What's good about them is you can get it in between the fur fibers and really cut it pretty fast while not destroying the fur fiber. And like what you see here, you really have to get between the fur to not destroy it. If you cut the edge of the fur, you're gonna cut through the fur, which will leave like a sharp edge and won't look very nice. Now you want to move into shaving. I firstly use a 5FC blade to get some of the bulk away, and then I swap to a 7FC blade to get that nice smooth finish. My clippers get a little bit stuck up sometimes, so I have to like undo them and take the fur out, but it's a labor of love. Sometimes you have to deal with the bits of fur and the hot blade and the just annoyingly long time it takes to make things look nice. So it's just, yeah, it's a thing that you have to do. Now enjoy me meticulously shaving this for the next 2 minutes. After you're happy with the shave, I just like to go around the edge of each piece with some scissors and clean up all the stragglers. Once you've done a little test fit and you're happy with how it looks, move on to pinning all your pieces together and sewing them up. This next part is just, sew them up as close to the edge as you can while still giving a little bit of a seam allowance. If you can't get super close to the edge, you can sew in a bit and then cut the little excess off. You kind of want to get as little of an edge as possible, because when you stick it down onto the head, it needs no space there. Otherwise you're going to end up with a ridge where every seam is. When you're pinning, I like to pin from right to left because that's the best way for it to fit into the sewing machine. Just a tidbit. Any super fine details like circular little dots above eyebrows or markings on the face, I like to do that with hand stitching. Check out this little tidbit as well. This is how you do a knot the easy way. and that's when my battery died. But that's okay, you didn't miss much, I just sewed up the ears. Thanks for watching, Fuzzbutts. I plan to upload new content every fortnight, so please subscribe and ring that bell. And don't forget to absolutely obliterate that like button. Check out my website and Twitter in the description for all of my latest fursuit projects.